You know how they say that your space reflects what's going on inside of you? If your space is messy, then maybe there's something confusing going on inside of you. So I also think that your space can change the way you feel inside. There is a junk drawer that has been driving me crazy for a while. Every time I look at it, I get really upset. So today I want to tackle that. And I think I'm going to use these old shoe boxes to do that. On today's show, I'll show you how I organize my junk drawer by making a space organizer out of shoe boxes and how you can use old boxes to organize any space. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to reset and clear this little space and get a little bit of peace and clarity in our lives. Okay, so my problem drawer is here right in the kitchen where everyone comes, where everyone can throw things in. And I know we all have a junk drawer, but this has gotten to be a big mess and I can barely open or close it now. Plus, some of the things in here we use and some of the things I don't know what it is. But I like to go through it and see what I have and kind of organize it. Now, first of all, to organize this, I want to create something with different sections to put things that are alike in the same category, in the same area, and which leads me to a project. We are going to create our own drawer organizer. So let's just start by measuring the inside of this drawer and get a little creative. So with the measurements of the drawer, I sort of made a template with my packing paper that I use for crafts. And I decided that I'm going to use shoebox tops to create my organizer. Since the top drawers of my kitchen cabinets are really shallow, it's about 2.5 inches high. The lid for the shoe boxes is about 1.5 inches high, so that should fit perfectly in there. So what I'm going to do is arrange a few lids in here, and I want to make sure I have a little bit of space around so that it will fit in the drawer. I have a couple of different size lids, so I'm just going to figure out how I can fit these together to fit inside this template. So I think I'll put this red box top horizontally at the bottom and just overlap it with the black because it'll just fit inside the template. Now, since this red lid is a little bit shorter than the black, I want to sit it inside the black box. So I'm going to use a box cutter to cut this side of the black lid to open it up. And I want to slide the red box inside here, so where it's going to intersect, I'm going to mark it so I can make a slit right here. And I also had to cut a little into the bottom part of this red box so that I can slide it into the black box and it fits inside the template. And now I'm just going to cut that little extra piece off. And now I can glue the bottom of the red lid to the black lid. I'm also going to put some hot glue on these intersections to keep that together, make sure it's straight. Okay, I can see that this will fit inside. The width is just barely inside, but it'll fit. So I need one more piece over here, another shoebox lid. Okay, so here's one I found, and I'm just going to basically slide this underneath these two. So I'll cut this in and this in. So I'm leaving one corner. I cut right where the red box meets the blue box. And I'm going to cut off the excess here and cut off some of these pieces, make it a little bit shorter so that it slides right underneath. And I'll glue these pieces together from the back. And then I'll glue the lips together where they touch. Now, the lips don't line up. They're not all the same size. But I try to smooth those joints out when I cover it up. So where the blue and the red lid meet, I cut it down a little more because it was overlapping some. And I cut it too short. So I'm using a little piece of paper from the blue lid to kind of reinforce that in the joints here in the middle. So this is basically my base for the divider, but I think I want to add some more sections to this because I have so many different things in that drawer. I like to have enough sections to put different things in, so in different size sections. So I'm just going to use the rest of the lid from that blue box that I cut off, and I can just divide this up a little more. So I tried to measure this and cut this down to the right length. I'm also going to cut the height down a little bit to match the red lid, and I'm using a hot glue to insert that in place. Okay, so I think this is enough sections. I have some big pieces in that drawer, and I have a spot for a lot of little things, and I have spots for medium size and large pieces. Now, the last thing I need to do is cover this so that it doesn't look like shoe boxes. So I found this old shower curtain material, and I think this might work because it is kind of waterproof because it is a shower curtain. It'll be easy to wipe off. And it's a nice neutral color with a nice design on it. But with all of these sections, it may be hard to cover this with material. So you know what? I think I may want to decoupage this. So I also have a lot of wrapping paper, and this is Christmas wrapping paper, but I don't think it looks too Christmassy. I don't want it to look Christmas. And hopefully the decoupage will make it, will break up the patterns of the snowflakes and make the design look a little more abstract. So I cut the row into strips, and I'm tearing up little pieces about this size. So I am putting on my gloves, and I'm using Mod Podge to do my decoupage. So if you're not familiar with Mod Podge, it's like a glue that goes on really thick and it dries really hard. It gives you a nice permanent coating that could be waterproof, and it's good for furniture and any kind of craft you want to apply paper or some kind of design to. So the way I decoupage is I put a good amount of the Mod Podge down, and then I apply pieces of paper or whatever type of material I want to put down. You could also use material on ribbon. And then I add more Mod Podge on top of that. So I overlap the pieces, and when you're doing a decoupage, it's always, you know, something like really rough and abstract. You kind of overlap your pieces almost like paper mache, and put a good coating on top of that. And doing decoupage is really easy to go up and around those little sections, and this will help hold everything in together really nicely, and this will give me a nice unified look. it'll look like one piece. And like I said, I don't want it to look like Christmas wrapping paper, so I'm going back with some pieces of paper to sort of break up the snowflake pattern and give it a more abstract look. So I got all the insides covered and I let it dry a little bit, enough to turn it over to do the back and the sides. So I think now I'm finished covering the whole box. I'm going to let the bottom and the rest of this dry. And while that's drying, I think I have time to do another drawer, organize another drawer. I like to organize one of my mother's drawers. My mother also had a stroke, so her right side is very weak. I had to help her get dressed every morning, and I want to organize her drawers so it's real easy for me to just grab matching clothes and get her ready. She has large drawers, so 2 of these boxes will fit in there, and I won't have to section these off. And I think these 2 boxes will work well. I think I can fit a week's worth of clothes in the 2 of these boxes. And with these boxes, I think it'll be much easier to cover with material. I have enough material for 2. So let's see if we can make some pretty boxes out of these. And look at this. These boxes actually have separate insides, so that's going to make it much easier to cover these. So I cut a piece of material for each box, and on each side I made sure there's enough material that will overlap the sides and go down into the bottom part of the box. So I'll be able to cover the back of the box, the sides, and the inside sides. And then that bottom part I'll cover with the detachable piece. Okay, so now I have my box upside down and I have the material centered right over the box. Now I'm going to hold my hand over this to make sure the material stays in place, but I'm going to start by hot gluing the material to the box. I'm going to start with one end and just make a line of glue right on the edge here. I'm just going to kind of stretch that over without moving the material and press it down. And I'm going to do the same with the other end. But this time I'm going to sort of stretch it so that it's nice and tight at the bottom. And I want to do the same thing to the 2 sides. Now I'm going to turn that over and do the sides and the insides. I think I just need one line of glue right here at the bottom on the inside. And I'm going to take the material, straighten it out, and just pull it as tight as I can and press the material down on the glue right at the bottom. Now let's do the same to the opposite side. Okay, so for the shorter ends, there's a lot of material here, so I'm going to kind of fold it in, and I'm going to lay this down like almost like I'm wrapping a present. sort of fold the edges, and then I'm going to do that on both sides. And then tuck it in. Don't worry about all the material, just try to fold it down neatly. I'm going to cut a little bit of this material and then glue the bottom part down so it's snug. And the outside is nice and smooth. So I'm going to do the other side. And as you can see, there's a lot of material inside the box, but it's going to be covered up by this piece here. So this piece I'm going to insert on top of that bottom, and I'm going to cover this piece with the rest of my material here. Now, doing a lot of simple things like getting dressed for my mother, it takes a while. I spend a lot of time with her because I'm also helping her with physical therapy. And what I like to do is have her do as much as she can by dressing herself. I'm there to help her, but I want her to use her hands and her legs as much as she can. And it really has helped a lot because when she had the stroke, she could barely move her hand. Her leg was weak. And now she's doing all sorts of things with her hand. She's using her right hand again, where she couldn't use it before. So if I could make the process of picking out her clothes a lot faster and easier, that would be really helpful because we do spend a lot of time doing little things that goes really slow. Now all that's left is to push this down into the bottom of the box. It pulls the sides a lot tighter. So now I have another nice pretty box I could use for organizing the drawers. And there's enough room for 2 of these boxes, so of course I made 2 of them. But I was looking at this burlap ribbon, and I think I want to add this around the middle part of the box. And I'll put the hot glue right on the edges. Now I am all done. I have 2 pretty boxes to help organize my mother's drawer. And my organizers for my messy drawer should be completely dry. So let's start organizing that space. So I pulled my junk drawer completely out, and I'm going to start by going through everything one at a time. I'm going to pull out things and see if I need them or if they're trash. If I need them, I'll put them in groups of like things, and the trash I will throw away. So, but first I'm going to start with the piles. I see I have tons of pens and markers. I have to see if they work. If not, I throw them away. So I decided to keep my trash bag next to me so I could just throw things away as I go. Okay, so I managed to clear out the drawer. It didn't take long. And I'm going to put my new organizer box in here. I like it. It has sort of a vintage look, and I think this will work very well. So I'm going to start filling up the spaces with the things I think we might use. So here is my new junk drawer. And that makes me feel so much better. So there's a lot of a wide variety of things in here. There's pens, stapler, tape measure, scissors, plug outlets. I have a calculator, just different things that we could grab. And if we need, these are some personal items. I have extra glasses, clippers, and files, stray keys and locks, batteries. There's even change in here. So it's like organized chaos. There's still room to throw things in here, but when you throw things in the sections, it still looks neat. So that's why I like to have containers or sections for organizing. But this just feels so much better. It's just one less bit of stress. And now this drawer has a different function. Now when I go in here, I know I can find things that I need. If I need scissors, if I need a screwdriver, if I need a calculator, I find some glasses to read, a pen, everything's in here. But it's presented in a way that just puts my mind at peace. So I'm very happy about this. Okay, so now let's tackle my mother's drawers. In her drawers, we usually have everyday clothes just folded up on top of each other. We have the shirts in one drawer, the pants in the other. And it's hard to see what you have in this state. I had to sort of rummage through it to find things that match. So I'd like to be able to just open one drawer and pull out what she needs really quickly. So I'm going to use my two new pretty drawer boxes to organize her clothes for the week. I'll just put the shirts in one box right next to the pants in the other box. So when I do the laundry, I'll just pick out matching clothes and I want to line them up together so I can just pull them out when I need them for each day. And instead of folding them on top of each other, I'm going to fold her clothes like an envelope so I can see exactly what's there with her shirts and her pants side by side. So when I open her drawer now, everything is ready for the week and I can just pull out her shirt and matching pants, and I have more time to work with her with helping her dress herself. Now, if you are dealing with someone who had a stroke, if they have any mobility at all, I can't tell you how much having my mother do her normal everyday activities has really helped her. She couldn't move her hand at all, her right hand, and now she is eating with her right hand. She's even started making jewelry, which is amazing. And I'll probably do a show with her making jewelry, but this has done a lot for her attitude, for her independence, and knowing that she can do things for herself and for other people. She has really been enjoying being able to give gifts for Christmas and participate in all our family activities. So organizing these two spaces has done a lot to clear my mind, to make room for what's really important, and will give me time to spend where it's really needed. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Guess what, everyone? I have a new home decor and home furnishing store. Go to shop.yourhouseahome.com and you'll find beautiful, unique pieces to make your house a beautiful home. And for all my viewers, use the discount code TSD20 to get 20% off at checkout. Want more detailed instructions on some of these projects? On my Etsy store, for just a few dollars, you can get instant digital downloads of full-color step-by-step instructions with templates for some of your favorite projects. And check out my Amazon page where you can pick up my Book of Elegant Home Crafts, Volume 1, with all your favorite projects together in one big, beautiful colored step-by-step instruction book. You can also get separate e-project booklets and full-color printed project booklets, all on my Amazon page. You'll also see all my favorite crafting tools and supplies seen on this show, and you can add them all to your cart for the one-click, fast, and easy shopping delivery convenience of Amazon. On social media, follow me at Your Hustle Home and Your Hustle Home TV. Like, share, subscribe, and your support is so appreciated.